Okay, hello everyone. We are returned to the amazing stories written by a dude some long time ago in a place far away.
I'm still here.
Maybe you are. Maybe you aren't. Maybe you are actually this dude in
I
your
don't
time
know.
traveler. Either way, before we start reading this story, we had a day break after reading the last few, and I kind of gathered my thoughts a little bit on why I dislike these stories so much. The main problem that I have with these, even the ones that technically have an okay idea, don't be racist or don't be a dick. Don't set yourself on fire. And let's say Santa Claus is OP. These are like all okay stories that you can tell a kid, but the way that they solve the problem is never really very good. So that's kind of my problem with it. That all of them are resolved really by violence, and all of them kind of center out on the fact of scaring people into submission. It's not like you explain someone, oh, you shouldn't be mean to a black guy because being black doesn't actually change him at all. No, it's like, don't be mean to a black guy or I will make you black. I mean, because that's kind of the idea.
That's
It's not like, oh, black
right.
people are no different. It's just like it's not his fault that he's black. It's like saying, oh, not his fault he's gay, but he says sucks that he's gay. It's just not his fault.
Yeah, exactly. It is one of those things that I agree completely. Showing people these things through violence really isn't the best. I do much prefer a, friendlier output rather than just like, oh, this one especially is a good extreme that really gets that point
But
across.
yeah, this one's gonna be an extreme just because even the lesson that it teaches is a bad lesson. But like with
Yeah.
other ones, there's at least something. The people did something wrong, but it teaches it in a bad way. Like I mean, if you want to compare it to ponies, it's way better to shoot rainbows in someone's face and make them not mean than to like bite off their leg and then their wiener and then just eat it.
Exactly.
I think I much rather take
Also,
rainbow to the face.
yeah, I would much rather take a rainbow to the face. I hate when my wiener gets eaten in a way or a place that makes me feel uncomfortable.
So yeah, that's the thing. But really, the only style that gets a free pass is always setting yourself on fire. It's still really fucking morbid and kind of extreme, but I can't really say anything other than, well, yeah, setting yourself on fire is never a good idea.
Yeah, it's not. I see their point of I don't know how you can better show that lesson because, well, either you set yourself on fire or you set your house on fire in a fire lesson learned. Like, you're gonna do something, like, obviously they have to do something bad with fire. They can't just have someone show up and slap the match out of her hand and be like, bitch, no.
So, in all fairness, I think the
Mm-hmm.
parents are more for it in that story. Just, hey, just leave matches around. Like, I don't know how old this girl is supposed to be, but she acted like she was like 6 or like 5 or whatever. It's just,
Actually,
oh yeah,
that's
like, just leave the matches laying around. Why we have doused her in Benzoline?
yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
only reason why she burns
considering
so
how
bad.
fast she goes up in flame, exactly. I don't, yeah, I see what you're saying. It's also matches kind of thing. That's definitely a parent's responsibility. Don't leave matches around young children. It's just not a good idea.
I mean,
Obviously,
I
just telling them
guess,
not to. Hmm.
I guess they really trust it in them cats. Them cats were like the guardian angels.
I guess so. They probably got home there like, you bastards. Why didn't you stop her? And those cats got beaten that night.
Maybe someone downstairs.
Probably so.
Anyway, now we can read the best story in this whole book. The reason we have done this in the first place.
Yep.
Die Geschichte von dem Daumenlutscher. Konrad, sprach die Frau, Mama, ich gehe aus und du bleibst da. Sei hübsch, ordentlich und fromm, bis nach Haus ich wiederkomm. Und vor allem, Konrad, hör, lutsch nicht an den Daumen mehr, denn der Schneider mit der Schere kommt sonst ganz gewinnt daher und die Daumen schneidet er ab, als Papier es wär. Fort geht nun die Mutter und wupp, der Daumen in den Mund. This one doesn't rhyme very well, or I'm reading it badly, one of the two. Either way. Bautz, da geht die Tür auf und herein in schnellen Lauf springt der Schneider in den Stub zu den Daumenlutscher Bub. Weh, jetzt geht es klipp und klapp, mit den Scher die Daumen ab, mit der großen scharfen Scher, hei, da schreit der Konrad sehr. Als die Mutter kommt nach Haus, sieht der Konrad traurig aus, ohne Daumen steht er dort, die sind alle beide fort. Beautiful.
So y'all might have missed that, but just from the picture, this has the Caesarman in it.
So wait, he has
So
Caesars?
Caesars, yes, totally.
The way he
This is the
said it, I
Caesar
thought he
man.
just gets a lot of Caesars.
Exactly. That's what makes him such a horrifying villain. Think he's gonna kill you, and then he just starts like flipping out.
But yeah, we were wondering when I showed the story to Green Bean, we actually genuinely wondered if this is where the Scissor Man comes from.
I still believe it is like
Because it's just, I mean, this is really old and it's famous and it would make kind of sense.
yeah
I
it
mean, I
it
know the Scissor Man thing is Japan, but it doesn't mean Japan people can't have heard of anything outside of their own nation.
exactly. And as you may all recall, the actual story isn't set in Japan. It's in a very Englandish setting.
Yep. Which Germany is close enough. Now I can read it so that people understand why he deserved getting his thumbs cut off like that.
The
Because he
story
really deserved it, man.
he had that shit coming. The story of little Sucker Thumb. One day, Mama said, "Conrad, dear, I must go out and leave you here." I'll admit that's one of the least translated names. I think Conrad's.
But Conrad wasn't a bad name
Actually,
to pronounce.
is it a German name? Huh?
Like, I had no problem pronouncing it. I don't know if it's a German name. I haven't heard it specifically.
Okay, I'm not saying it's like I'm not saying it's hard to say. I'm just saying Conrad. Like it's not a name you hear a lot in English. That's for
Really?
sure. I've never met
Pretty
anyone named Conrad.
I don't know, it sounds like a normal name that someone could have.
If you
Either way.
insist. If you insist. I must go out and leave you here, but mind now, Conrad, what I say. Don't suck your thumb while I'm away. The great tall tailor comes to little boys that sucks their thumbs, and ere they dream what he's about, he takes his great sharp scissors. His great sharp scissors.
He really does a lot of them, Jesus.
Takes his great sharp scissors and cuts their thumbs clean off, and you know they never grow again. Well, when would your thumb grow again?
But
Are you saying that if
why is she telling you that to him with a big rolling pin already in her hand? Does she just beat him while she takes him lessons? Like,
Is
1
that a
plus 1
rolling-
is 2, bitch. Bam! Hit.
is that a rolling pin? I thought that was an umbrella.
Oh, really? I thought, like, to me it always looked like a rolling pin.
It's hard to say. It really could be
It's the
either.
most, like, yellow umbrella. Like, I don't know, it looks like wood.
Yeah,
But
well,
it probably is an umbrella because of how the end is so long, but to me, it looked like a rolling pin.
yeah, makes sense.
Maybe she beats him with umbrellas.
She probably does. Mama had scarcely turned her back. The thumb was in. Alack, alack. The door flew open and in he ran. The great long red scissor man. They literally call him that.
See?
Jeez,
He's the
that is-
Scissor Man!
Oh, children. Oh, children, see the tailors come and cut off our little sucker thumb. Snip, snap, the scissors go, and Conrad cries, "Oh, oh, oh!" Snip, snap, snip, they go so fast that both his thumbs are off at last. Jeez.
It's not even that he just cuts off the one that got sucked on for, like, hygiene reasons. He just cuts off both in case.
Yeah, he's just like, no, you don't get either of your thumbs. You have to be unable to do anything. Mama comes home. There Conrad stands and looks quite sad and shows his hand. "Ah," Mama said, "I knew he'd come to naughty little suck-a-thumb."
Deserved it, bitch! You sucked your thumb? Die now, bitch! I don't know, this story upsets me. Did you notice that this story maybe upsets me a little bit?
Yeah, I noticed that. Probably because this is by far the worst, like, of the bunch. Like, the other ones,
What
you
did
don't
the
really
kid
see other
do?
people's reactions. But yeah, I don't know. He sucked his thumb. And I get that that's supposedly, like, bad for your teeth, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's not nearly as bad as having your thumbs missing for your entire life.
Weißt du, this image is just terrifying.
Yeah, like
Fucking kid would look at this and ever again sleep. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I never again slept after looking at this. That explains a lot.
That does explain a lot and why Clock Tower was so scary, because I really wouldn't want this. And like even just cutting off your thumbs, that is unbelievably painful. I imagine he said more than oh. That's
Maybe he's just very not pain with he's German. They're used to it.
he's just yeah. He probably already has his toes
So why does
cut
his
off,
clog
like-
look so fucking smug? I guess it's not a clock, but like whatever that is, it's like look at it. It's just like, wow, man, you got pwned, bro.
I know, like everything in this story, and like you said, it doesn't help. Like at least you'd think the mother would be like a little
No, but no, she's like,
no.
got it coming, bitch.
Yeah, she's literally like, I knew he'd come. Oh, little sucker thumb. That's what you get, nigga.
That's what you get for not being black. At least Nicholas didn't also dump your ink on you. Like, now just imagine afterwards Nicholas comes in and just dumps ink on his bloody thumbs. It's like, you got that, Japan.
Jeez, man, that would be freaking intense.
Either way,
But yeah, I mean, the way it's written, I wouldn't be surprised if he got grounded afterwards.
You let someone cut off your thumbs? That's almost as bad as letting yourself be raped, man. You're terrible, boy. You let the priest touch you? You are going to jail, boy.
Sounds like the
For
normal.
making the priest do bad things, you are evil. You are devil's work. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised by this story doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Jeez.
So,
That'd be.
are we ready
obviously
to move on?
I think we're ready to move on, but hopefully everyone gets the idea. This is the this is the epitome of using fear and insinuating that if you do a bad thing, you deserve like this whole high punishment thing of some insane
For insane reasons. Again, it's like, because other ones you could at least argue why they were morally bad, but it's not a fucking crime. Let the kid suck his thumb. Tell him he's not allowed to if you want to, but you can't fucking go and cut off his thumbs or say, like, you can't even say, like, even if I heard someone say this to the kid, I would fucking bitch slap them. Like, if I heard someone be like, hey, you can't suck your thumb, or like, someone's gonna come and cut them off, it's like, you're the worst parent ever, and I hope the police takes your kid away. Because you're not gonna achieve anything by lying to people.
Yeah, you are, especially through like that extreme, like it's not even like a nice lie, like, oh man, Santa Claus is gonna give you presents. No, it's like, oh man,
Santa's gonna cut off your thumbs.
yeah.
I mean, they do the whole thing with the core, but the core thing is very freaking not that bad compared to cutting off your thumbs.
Right, exactly. Getting coal. I mean, that isn't
least you
even
can
like
burn them.
that's right. Exactly. At most, it's just like a bit of an insult. That's you don't get nice things, but that's not anything negative, and it's yeah, it's not like, oh man, you did bad. Santa Claus is gonna come and he's gonna shove you in his sack and he's gonna beat you.
And he's gonna slow you down a chimney. Anyway, we will see you guys exactly right now. And now we are at the amazing story of the story. It's literally named The Story of Augustus who not have any soup. Wait, this isn't fucking English, that's why it's so Okay,
Oh no,
die Geschichte
Sapare.
von Suppenkasper. There, that makes a lot more sense and it's easier to say actually. Surprisingly enough.
Yeah, the English title for this one's really bad, so I don't mind that we showed that first. I don't know why this one has such a bad English title.
I remember I didn't like this story as a kid.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Here's another one that's kind of an extreme.
Der Kasper, der war gern gesund. I don't even know what gern gesund. What does that mean? I don't know. Der Kasper, der war gern gesund. Ein dicker Bub und okay. One more time from the beginning. Der Kasper, der war gern gesund. Ein dicker Bub und kegelrund. Er hatte Backen rot und frisch. Die Suppe aß er hübsch bei Tisch. Doch einmal fing er an zu schreien, ich esse keine Suppe, nein. Ich esse meine Suppe nicht, nein, meine Suppe esse ich nicht. Am nächsten Tag, ja sieht nur her, da war er schon viel magerer. Da fing er wieder an zu schreien, ich esse keine Suppe, nein, ich esse meine Suppe nicht, meine Suppe esse ich nicht. Am dritten Tag, oh weh und ach, wie ist der Kasper dünn und schwach, doch als die Suppe kam herein, gleich fing er wieder an zu schreien. Ich esse keine Suppe, nein, ich esse meine Suppe nicht, nein, meine Suppe esse ich nicht. Am vierten Tag, endlich gar, der Kasper wie ein Fädchen war. Er wog vielleicht ein halbes Lot und war am 5. Tage tot. Now, this one sounds nice.
Yeah, it certainly did sound nice.
Like it went better than the last one.
Yeah, I noticed that it sounded good in German, but now we get to read the amazing English version.
Which actually has a name. In German, he doesn't have a name. At least I don't think they ever meant to use his name.
Yeah. The story of Augustus, who not have any soup. I don't know why I thought who could not, or who should not, or...
I don't know, just, I guess because he would not have any soup.
Yeah. Augustus was a chubby lad, fat, ruddy cheeks Augustus had, and everybody saw with joy the plump and hearty, healthy boy.
They just look at him and they're like, yeah, man, he's such a fatto.
Like, yeah, pedophilia.
Yeah, pedophilia, that.
He ate and drank as he was told, and never let his soup get cold. But one day, winter's day, he threw away the spoon and screamed, "Oh, take the nasty soup away!" I don't know why he sounds like that.
I guess he's actually like 45 and British.
I won't have any soup today. I will not eat my soup. I will not eat it, no. Next day, now look, the picture shows how lank and lean Augustus grows. Yet though he feels so weak and ill, the naughty fellow cries still. Not any soup for me, I say. Take the nasty soup away. I will not eat my soup. I will not eat it. No. But anyways, yeah. Also, geez, he withered up fast.
Yeah, it's Germans. We put a lot of energy or something like that.
Apparently so. A third day comes. Oh, what a sin, to make himself so pale and thin. Yet when the soup is put on table, he screams as loud as he is able. Not any soup for me, I say. Oh, take the nasty soup away. I won't have any soup today. Look at him now, the 4th day's come. He scarce outweighs a sugar plum. He's like a little bit of thread, and on the 5th day, he was dead.
Beautiful. So this story... What does this story teach exactly? If you don't like something, shut the fuck up or you will starve. Because his parents are fucking dicks. I'm assuming they gave him the same soup for like 5 days. It's like, this already has fish growing in it.
Seriously. Yeah, you'd think after that, like... I think they'd eventually give him something else to eat, because, yeah, that is a dick thing to do. It's like, literally, bitch, eat the soup or die.
Because, I mean, it's like they mentioned that he always eats his soup at the beginning and whatnot, and he doesn't have any problem with it, so I'm assuming that if he suddenly is like, I will not eat the soup, he probably has a legit complaint. Like, maybe the soup had, like, arsenic, whatever, like, some poison in it. It had arson
it probably, there was probably just, like, a giant-ass rat sitting in his soup being like, sup. And he was like, no.
But yeah, it's just, this story, I mean, it's supposed to like teach kids to not be too picky about their food, but I don't know if I really at all agree with this story. Even its lesson, I think that if someone doesn't want to eat something, and if someone doesn't want to eat something to the point where they're gonna fucking kill themselves, give them something, Jesus Christ, man.
Exactly. Especially starving to death. I don't know if you're aware, but that's like one of the higher way. That's one of the high pain ways to go. He didn't like shoot himself. He withered away into literally nothing.
And no one has anything better to do than just like look at him and like laugh. It's like, oh, this kid's so funny. He's so dead.
I know, seriously.
I guess what also
Just
with my problem with the story is the amount of contempt it has for any of these characters.
yeah.
With some of them you can kind of understand, but it's there's no gray ground. There's no like, oh, he kind of brought it on himself. No, this is like he fucking deserved it, and if you feel pity for this guy, then you will go die too.
Yeah, pretty much. They literally like, you know, they don't show any sympathy in any of these. The only one that showed any sympathy to the character was the cat one. Aside from that, all of these were like, yeah, he died, and we shall laugh and piss on his grave because I
For
don't
the
know.
cat one, but only the cat's fate is symphony. It's
Right,
not the
exactly.
narrator did. The narrator was like, wait, that bitch didn't listen. Let her burn like she is a black person on a stake or a witch or something. I don't fucking know. Whatever these people would have said back then.
Yeah.
Which at
Probably.
least this guy wasn't racist. I can give him that.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
not entirely sure if his lack of racism was for the correct reasons or not. As we have found out that his whole reason for not being racist was, oh right, I didn't pick to be black.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very possibly so. I'm not entirely certain. His thing on race seems weird, but yeah, at least I mean, I guess at least he likes it. He's not racist. That's something you can give him, though. He hates hunters, apparently, I guess. I don't really
Kind
know
of
what that
weird. I
says,
thought
but
everyone liked hunters.
I thought so too, especially back like 100 something years ago. You
So,
know.
but we have not found out he hates people who are fat, and he probably hates people who don't eat. Most of all, he hates fat people who don't eat.
I think he was a very grumpy person. It seems like he's like, I hate when people play with matches. I hate kids that don't eat.
I
I
hate
hate kids that like kick animal. Well, okay, that's as well. I
I
hate
hate kids who kick animals, but I love dogs who eat kids.
I love when dogs eat wieners. Yeah.
Anyway, I believe the next one might actually be last. Oh no, there's two stories I think left. We will see.
Okay.
Let's see. Now we have reached die Geschichte von Philip. I will give the guy he can come up with names. I mean, that one name
Yeah.
was stupid, but like his nicknames for everyone are interesting.
Yeah, they are. I agree.
So I know this is supposed to be one of those looking glasses thingies, but it really looks like the husband just beat her face in really hardcore.
Yeah, you know it does.
She's like,
Her face-
man, woman, I think there was problems in this, and the kid was like giggling around on his chair.
It doesn't help that her cheeks are so red, and I mean,
His
freaking.
cheeks are too.
Why would she have that at the? Why would she have those at the table of all things? Like, oh my, I must examine this food.
In fact, all of them have super red cheeks. Is this like a disease? Are these actually zombies? Red cheek zombies?
Probably so. Oh no.
Either way, I read it. Ob der Philipp heute still wohl bei den Tisch sitzen will. Also sprach in ernster Ton der Papa so zu seinem Sohn, und die Mutter blickte stumm auf den ganzen Tisch herum. Doch der Philipp hörte nicht, was zu ihm der Vater spricht. Er kaukelt und schaukelt und trappelt und zappelt auf den Stuhl hin und her. Philipp, das missfällt mir sehr. Seht ihr, liebe Kinder, seht, wie der Philipp weitergeht. Oben steht auf dem Bild, seht, er schaukelt gar zu wild, bis der Stuhl nach hinten fällt. Da ist nichts mehr, was ihm hält. Nach dem Tischtuch greift er, schreit, doch das hilft, doch was hilft's zum gleicher Zeit. Fallen Teller falsch, Flasch und Brot, Vater ist in großer Not und die Mutter blickt stumm auf den ganzen Tisch herum. Nun der Philipp ganz versteckt und den Tisch ist abgedeckt. Jeez, I can't read. Nun ist der Philipp ganz versteckt und der Tisch ist abgedeckt. Was der Vater essen wollte, unten auf den Erd rollt. Suppe, Brot und Bissen, alles ist herabgerissen. Suppenschlüssel ist entzwei und die Eltern stehen dabei. Beide sind gar zornig sehr, haben nichts zu essen mehr. I think it looks like he has a dance move going on here. He's like, man, I can dance to this.
Oh, it's time to get boogie.
My food is all ruined. Boogie down time. Maybe that would help. Like if our parents, when they got angry at their kid, they just started dancing instead.
That'd be pretty amazing. See, that's if that was the outcome of the last story, that would have been fine. Just like the guy comes in, the sisterman comes in, and then he just like starts dancing at the kid.
It would have been amazing. I would have made Clock Tower very different.
Yes, it would. 10 out of 10 for me, but it was already. Anyways, ready?
Yeah.
The story of Fidgety Philip. Let me see if Philip. Oh, I don't know. Oops, jeez. Who is talking here?
The
Okay.
father.
Let me see if Philip can be a little gentleman. Let me see if he is able to sit still for once at table. All of the missing word.
But just to make it work, boy.
I know.
They did it before
just
in the last
sounds
one.
weird. Huh?
In the last poem, they did it too.
Yeah, you're right, sorry. Thus spoke in earnest tone the father to his son, and mother looked very grave to see Philip so misbehave. But Philip he did not mind, his father was so kind. He wriggled and giggled, and then, I declare, sung backward and forward and tilted his chair, just like any rocking horse. Philip, I am getting cross. See, the Nazi
turned into a soaring worm.
To be fair, the kid might it's the story of Fidgety Philip. Maybe he has a legitimate problem, you guys.
Wait, this was before psychology was invented.
Yeah.
So he just kind of like, well, it's the devil's work, boy. The devil is controlling him and making him fidget.
Makes sense.
The devil works in mysterious ways, don't question it.
See the naughty, restless child growing still more rude and wild, till his chair falls over quite. Philip screams with all his might, catches at the cloth, but then that makes matters worse again. Down upon the ground they fall, glasses, bread, knives, forks, and all. How Mama did fret and frown when she saw them tumble down, and Papa made such a face. Philip is in a sad disgrace. Where is Philip? Where is he? Fairly covered up, you see. Cloth and ill are like cloth and what? Cloth and 2? Cloth and 11?
Maybe I don't know, like 11 people jumped on top of him. Maybe suddenly a rugby team came in and just like tackle time.
Jeez, that sounds about right for these stories. That would be pretty amazing. Cloth and 11 are lying on him. He is put down all upon him. What a terrible to do. Dishes, glasses, snapped in two. Here a fork, there a fork. Philip, this is naughty work. Table all are so bare, and poor Papa and poor Mama. They look quite cross, and wonder how they shall make their dinner now. Wait, what does this have to do with making dinner?
This was the dinner. I guess it just making dinner is eating dinner.
Yeah.
But it is interesting how they gave the mother way more of a personality than in the German version.
Yeah.
In the German version, it's like, the German is just looking the mother is just looking at everything on the table. And then she puts everything down, and it's like the mother is still just looking at the table. And I'm like, okay. But here it's like, she's like one of the main players here.
Right, exactly. It is funny, but, admittedly, that would explain all the pictures where she's just, like...
just looking at the table.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's pretty much what she's doing.
She's like, this table, some intense shit, I must look at it closer. Her husband's probably like, no! She sees the table without the cloth, she will marry it instead of me.
So he has to make a dance to distract her. That is a true story behind this poem.
10 out of 10 would read.
What is this thing on his leg anyway?
What, honestly?
Oh, I see, because it's like the thing that they have.
I
Anyways,
see.
this story harmless.
Yeah, it's pretty harmless. This one's pretty amusing.
I mean, it's still not a great story. I mean, I guess it teaches a lesson. It teaches a lesson with an extreme, but it's at least no one died.
Right.
But at least we didn't see
dies.
anyone die. For all we know, the father might end up making him into a cross or nailing him to a
Yeah.
cross.
That's a definitive possibility, but yeah, as far as the story goes, no one dies. There's no even implication, and heck, though they're mad, which is they're mad to an understandable level. They're not even like, we're gonna hang you, boy.
They went like, let's cut Scissor Man. Wait, they should have had like a guy who now wants in with giant forks and stabs kids that misbehave.
Jeez.
So
Giant
we go to the
forks.
next one?
Thing, I thought next thing you were going to bring up would be like Lawnmower Man. Jeez, that'd be morbid here.
Lawnmower Man. Wait, someone has to make that too now. So actually, the main lesson I would learn from this story is don't grip the tablecloth even when you fall to your death. It's only gonna make it worse.
Yeah, admittedly, gripping the tablecloth is indeed not a good idea. I mean, that's mainly why. It mainly seems to be why they're upset is because he seems to have this insistence on pulling the tablecloth off, and I don't even blame him for that. Like, if he was fidgeting, whatever, but freaking.
Well, I think he did it when he was falling, is what the story says. It's not like he
Well,
did that
yeah, I know
purposely.
he did it while he was falling. Yeah.
I mean, have you never
I
done
get that idea, but from the
Have you never done that?
falling off of the tablecloth.
But I don't know, when you fall, you tend to grab for whatever you can reach, which
Oh,
normally is that.
well, yeah, I know.
It's kind of like how catching a knife in midair is a bad idea.
Yeah.
And I've
Well,
done
no,
trying to do that before.
I understand the idea. It's just one of those things that I guess maybe it's less of a normality in America, or at least where in any, like even my grandparents never used a tablecloth on the table, so
So I guess you never want to grab one. Huh. That makes
exactly.
sense. Well, before we get into like the science of tablecloths, we will move on to the story of a guy who's named Johnny. Okay, I lied. He's actually named Hans. But he's named Johnny in English for whatever reason. I guess it was like Hans is too German, so let's give him the most English name we can come up with.
He's secretly Johnny Wiseau.
Right, I think that makes sense with this story.
Yeah.
Die Geschichte von Hans Guck in die Luft. I swear, if I was named that, I would probably disown myself. Wenn der Hans zur Schule ging, stets sein Blick in Himmel hing. Nach den Dächern Wolken schwalben, schaute er aufwärts allenthalben. Vor die eigenen Füße dicht, ja, da sah der Bursche nicht. Also, dass in jeden ruft, seht der Hans, okay. Ja, da sah der Bursche nicht. Also, dass in jeder ruft, seh der Hans, guck in die Luft. Kam ein Hund dahergerannt, Hans sein blickte unerwandt in die Luft, niemand ruft, Hans, gib acht, der Hund ist nah. Was geschah? Bau, Pradau, Sau, what? I don't know what I'm reading. Da liegen zwei, Hund und Händchen nebenbei. Eins ging er ans Ufersrand, mit der Mappe in der Hand, nach dem blauen Himmel hoch sah er, wo die Schwalben flog. Also, dass er Kerzengrand immer mehr zum Flusse trat. Und die Fischlein in der Reihe sind erstaunt, sei sehr alle drei. Noch ein Schritt und plumps, der Hans stürzt hinab, kopfüber ganz. Die drei Fischlein, sehr erschreckt, haben sich sofort versteckt. Doch zum Glück, da kommen zwei Männer und der Nähe herbei, und sie haben ihn mit Stange aus dem Wasser aufgefangen. Seht, nun steht er triefend nass. Ei, das ist ein schlechter Spaß. Wasser läuft in armen Wicht aus den Haaren ins Gesicht, aus den Kleidern von den Armen und es friert ihm zum Erbarmen. Doch die Fischlein alle drei schwimmen hurtig gleich herbei, stecken Köpflein aus dem Flut, lachen, dass man's hören tut, lachen fort nach langer Zeit und die Mappe verschwindet schon weit.
Exactly.
I totally fucked that up, but luckily none of you guys can speak German, so even if you spoke German, you probably had no idea what I just said.
Probably not. It sounds like there's a lot of old ass German in this,
Right,
just like some
just,
old English.
I'm not even that used to reading German out loud.
Yeah.
So it's not like
makes...
I know, like with these kind of things, you would need to know what the word is the moment you see the first few letters, because it has like a rhythm to it. You can't just read each word on its own.
Right, I understand.
But the first few letters don't tell me much because I don't know how most of the words are actually spelled.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. And yeah, I mean, if I wasn't used to reading a language out loud, I imagine I'd have the same issue. Well, I mean, but of course
I don't actually think you read this story. At least I remember us reading it last time.
I don't actually remember this one either, just by looking at it. So I guess we're reading the story of Johnny Wiseau, Look in the Air. As he trudged along to school, it was always Johnny's rule to be looking at the sky and the clouds that floated by, but what just before him lay in his way, Johnny never thought about, so that everyone cried out, "Look out, little Johnny there, little Johnny head in air."
Which is funny because it isn't even what he's said in the title. This translation sucks.
It does.
Because it's supposed to be the whole point of the title, and now you just fucked it.
They did. Apparently it's Johnny head in air. More like Johnny head and ass. Never mind. Stupid. Running just in Johnny's way came a little doggy one day. Johnny's eyes are still astray, up on high in the sky, and never heard them cry, "Johnny, mind the dog is nigh." Who would ever say that?
Maybe that's what Germans used to say, don't question
it. Maybe so. Oh man. I need to start telling people that. Heck, I should just put that on the back of, like, a box somewhere. And if anyone, and just be like, the dog is nigh. Actually, no, not the back box. Yeah, like here on one of those signs, in and nigh, but it's a sign that says, the dog is nigh.
Repent to the god of dogs, I guess.
Exactly. What happens now? Bump. Dump I? Bump, dump, I, down they fell, with such a thump, dog and Johnny in a lamp. What? Lump. Oh, okay, that would make a lot more sense.
And it became a genie. That would have been weird. Imagine if, like, after Aladdin rubbed that lamp, and then suddenly a dog and a kid came out, and the kid just gets up and starts walking away looking at the sky.
That would be pretty funny. It almost broke their bones so hard they tumbled on the stones. Once with head as high as ever, Johnny walked beside the river. Johnny really doesn't learn.
But he's Johnny Wiseau. He has fun in it if he learns.
That is fair. Once with head, Johnny walked beside the river. Johnny watched the swallows trying, which was clearest at flying. Oh, what fun! Johnny watched the bright round sun going in and coming out. This was all he thought about. So he strode on, only think, to the river's very brink, where the bank was high and steep, and the water very deep.
What was that line supposed to say? I can't, like, what was that related to? He looks at the sun and then going in and coming out. What are we talking about?
I have no idea.
Is it the sun? I guess it's talking about the sun going up and down, but it's just because I assume that's not currently what's happening. I assume it's not like Equestria where like Celestia and Luna are like having a fight off.
Exactly. You know, honestly, if the sun was literally just like going up and down in the sky, like rapidly enough you can see it, I wouldn't blame Johnny for staring up in the sky.
Maybe everyone else is so weird who doesn't even notice.
Maybe so. They don't notice the end of the world that is upon them, but Johnny knows.
Because the dog is nigh.
Dude. The fishes in a row started to see him coming, so one step more, oh sad to tell, headlong in poor Johnny fell. The three little fishes in dismay wagged their tails and swam away. There lay Johnny on his face with his nice red writing case, but as they were passing by, two strong men heard him cry, and with sticks these two strong men hooked poor Johnny out again.
Did they not they were strong yet? Because they're strong. They're really strong, boy.
They're really pretty strong. They're pretty OP. They're so OP and strong, they just have sticks for no reason.
I don't know why they have these sticks. The translation is not very good, honestly, but even that one just didn't make... Just, suddenly there were guys with sticks who save him, and then just leave him. They just go away, like, they never mention it again.
Yeah, they are, but it's pretty funny. That is another one of these very random elements, and yeah.
Maybe it's just normal joke. Maybe there's just people patrolling rivers with sticks in case people fall into them.
Maybe so. Very, very strong men. They're not just normal men. You gotta remember.
They are Supermen.
Oh, you should have seen him shiver when they pulled him from the river. He was in a sorry plight, dripping wet and such a fright.
Why are you so happy about that, you fucking fag?
I don't know.
It's like, you should have seen him shiver. It was such fun to see him suffer. Maybe this was written by the guy who tore people's wings off.
Maybe so. This story sounds a little bit like it was written by a sadist. Wet all over everywhere, clothes and arms and face and hair. Johnny will never forget what it is to be so wet. Well, you know, I'm sure.
I guess he never took a shower before.
I guess not. And the fishes, 1, 2, 3, are coming back again, you see. Up they came the moment after to enjoy the fun and laughter. Yeah, even the fish have total contempt for this guy.
I know, in the German story had it all different, actually. The same in the German version. But in the German one, actually, like, it says that they laugh at him. Here's just they enjoy the fun and laughter, but, I mean, they are the ones laughing.
Yeah. Each popped out his little head, and to tease poor Johnny said, "Silly little Johnny, look, you have lost your writing book." Look at them laughing, and do you see, his satchel is drifting far out to sea.
Again, I feel like these strong guys who just saved him and then just like fuck off again.
I don't know. And these fishes are dicks. They couldn't, like, be bothered to go help him get his chat.
Right,
Like, for all you know, this guy could turn out to be Leonardo fucking da Vinci, the German version.
But as we have learned from the guy who wrote this book, it doesn't matter if you're Leonardo da Vinci or Jesus himself. If you don't follow his rules, you get fucked.
Yep, if you don't pay attention to where you're going, you're gonna just lose all of your shit.
If you suck your thumb. Or if you're mean, or if you play with matches, or if you don't, like, brush your hair, or, man, this must have been a terrible fucking life.
Those must have really been the bad old days. I wouldn't have wanted to live with these things. Like, I'll admit, I'm not saying that you, like, once again, this is a thing where obviously you should watch where you're going, but you know, also...
Again, it's not the way to teach that lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
All I'm saying is, if I ever had a kid, I wouldn't give him this book. I would probably burn the book first. I don't know, I don't even plan to ever have kids, but I guess it's just... Anyone who thinks this would be good parenting, like, this is not even insulting my parents, like, this is not about that, it's... I'm saying, if anyone, like, I'm just wondering if anyone these days would give this book to a kid and be like, hey, read this is good for you, because... I'm wondering, is that still a thing? Would anyone think that? Or am I just wrong in that belief?
I'm not entirely certain. It's really hard to say, but I mean, I agree with what you're saying. It's one of those things where
But I mean, I would
you
say
know,
that it is still like because I mean, you still do sometimes see like we still
yeah,
do sometimes we do sometimes teach kids lessons by fear mongering, really. Like we
yeah,
do that, and like we are like don't do this because this will happen. Or, like don't do this will happen. But we never are like don't do this because of these reasons. Like we too often don't explain really why. We just simply say something bad will happen. No, that's why. That's my reason.
yeah. Exactly. That's fair. And I guess this story just always adds salt to the wound also by giving literally no sympathy to these characters, like you said. Like,
They're pretty much they're scum. They're the lowest level of scum. They don't deserve. They just deserve to be laughed at for having dared to offend. So,
exactly. And I mean, yeah, like I said, you won't pay attention where you're going, but most people would be like, "Oh man, that's like a traumatic experience. How about you sit back and warm up, and maybe we'll see if we can get your goddamn saddle back." But no,
no,
the
here
this.
like even nature is like yes. Yeah, they're coming. Yeah. I mean, I would be surprised if the dog actually like was hired to tackle him. Like I would
It
be
probably
surprised if the dog,
was.
like Jesus came down and like hugged the dog and took him to
Yeah.
heaven for this.
I'll admit though, also this is unrelated, but looking at that dog picture, like, at first I didn't even realize looking at the first time that that's what happened, that he tripped over the dog, because admittedly he looks like he's kind of having a fun time, like the dog looks like he's rolling over.
But honestly, I
Uh,
look like a dog has his leg broken. I think the
oh,
dog got out of that was.
yeah, actually you're right, I think so too.
But what is
Well,
weird is here they
mhm,
just talk about his satchel. In the
yeah,
Jawas they talk about him having a map. But you can't see a map in any of the drawings or anything like that. I'm a bit confused by that. Did it
yeah,
do it for the rhyme? Because this is one of the few cases where the English version almost makes more sense. Because you can
right.
see this red satchel driving away, but in the driving away. But in the German version, it's just he has a map and he loses a map and that's all.
Huh, that's
Not that they ever
weird.
say what map, just say he has a map. Probably like the map to the secret of like impossible amount of money, but then he's in the car.
Yeah. That's what you get when you're reading your map all the time.
But it's not like that he reads a map, he has a map. He
Yeah,
still just looks
that's
at the sky at the time, but he has a map for that reason.
yeah.
Anyway, we will
I'm
get to
not
the next story.
entirely certain. Yep, sounds good. See y'all there.
And now we have actually reached a final story, because for whatever reason when we last read it, we didn't read that river story, or we don't, or I just don't remember it at all. But this is the
Yeah,
final story.
I think we just don't. I think we just didn't remember it because thinking back, I definitely remember the pictures at least, but maybe we didn't read it. I don't know.
Die Geschichte vom fliegenden Robert. Wenn der Regen niederbraust, wenn der Sturm das Feld durchaust, bleiben Mädchen oder Buben hübsch daheim in ihren Stuben. Robert aber dachte, nein, das muss draußen herrlich sein, und im Felde patschte er mit dem Regenschirm umher. Hoi, wie pfeift der Sturm und keucht, dass der Baum sich niederbeugt. Seht, der Schirm erfasst der Wind. Den Schirm erfasst der Wind, und der Robert fliegt geschwind durch die Luft so hoch, so weit, niemand hört ihn, wenn er schreit, und die Wolken stößt er schon, und der Hut fliegt auch davon. Schirm und Robert fliegen dort durch die Wolken immer fort, und der Hut fliegt weit voran, stößt zuletzt am Himmel an, wo der Wind sie hingetragen. Wo der Wind sie hingetragen, ja, das weiß kein Mensch zu sagen.
Hmm.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but you can still
Yeah, it looks self-explanatory from the pictures, but I still might as well read it.
obviously Alien showed up and then they just teleported him away.
Sounds about right. The story of Flying Robert. When the rain comes tumbling down in the country or the town, all the good little girls and boys stay at home and mind their toys. Robert thought, no, when it pours, it is better to be outdoors. Rain it did, and in a minute, Bob was in it. I know that Bob is short for Robert, but that's really dumb.
What? You don't like Bob Boy?
I don't like the way that rhymes, and that just seems weird.
Right, because
Here
it's
you
not
see
a...
him, silly fellow. It's not a
It's
what?
not a... It's... I don't know what they call them, but I mean, it's not a weird rhyme or perfect rhyme, because you're rhyming minute on it, which I'm pretty sure doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't think it does either.
Like, it's not even doesn't sound the same, but to have a rhyme, you have to have the same letters, which is not the same letters. Or at least the same, syllables.
Yeah, it's not the same syllables, and it's definitely not a similar sound. It just rain it did, and in a minute, Bob was in it. That's bad. Here you see him, silly fellow, underneath his red umbrella. What a wind! Oh, how it whistles through the trees and flowers and thistles. It has caught his red umbrella. Now look at him, silly fellow. Up he flies to the skies. No one heard his screams and cries. Through the clouds, and the rude wind bore him, and his hat flew on before him.
Before we continue,
Mhm.
this is not the complaint to the original book, but to the translation. But it has tried to rhyme fellow on umbrella twice now, which is really throwing me off.
Yeah, this translation for this one is like some of them have been surprisingly good, but some of them like this one are utter rubbish. Like this one sucks. I don't know
Sucks
why.
does not get the green bean stamp.
Yeah, it doesn't get my stamp of approval. It doesn't deserve to be on the front or the back of the box. 0 out of 10.
I mean, admittedly, the whole box is just taken up by pictures of Scissorman.
Well, that's true. If I had a box, that would certainly be the case. Odds Rodwin and his hat flew on before him. Soon they got to such height they were nearly out of sight, and the hat went up so high that it almost touched the sky. No one ever yet could tell where they'd stop or where they fell. Only this one thing is plain: Rob was never seen again. So,
Beautiful
what
story.
does that learn you? What does this teach you? Don't bring your umbrella out to storms, apparently.
Well, actually, the rest of the story is don't go outside in storms at all, ever.
Well,
Stay
yeah.
inside, fuckers. Which,
Yeah,
as someone who loves the rain, I don't like this story.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think but I guess the reason I think it's silly, like, I know that what the actual lesson is, but to be honest, the way the story is described, if Robert hadn't brought his umbrella, he
He'd
would
be
have been
fine, I
fine.
know, like, even the lesson seems to be lost in the fact that, like, he could have just not brought an umbrella.
Yeah, exactly. Well, obviously why I said that, because, like, but obviously want to bring an umbrella in a storm. This is, in general, a terrible lesson to teach kids on multiple lessons and multiple levels, and honestly, yeah, going out in the rain, not the worst thing ever.
And again,
Really,
it's such fear-mongering that I think it's destructive, because it's like, right now you're gonna have your kids who never want to go outside when it rains or even like slightly because they're gonna think they're gonna get flown away by the fucking storm.
exactly.
And then someone's gonna complain that the kid is such a pussy, right? You just told him he's gonna die. I mean,
Yeah.
all this book makes is pussies. Pussy cats.
Indeed. And we've all learned from this story, pussycats are apparently useless. They can form a pool with their tears. I guess that's neat.
Which probably you can drown in by the logic of this story. Because seemingly everything can carry you in this universe.
Probably so. Like, I mean, I get, like, some of these, like this one, I even sort of get the idea. It's just, it's one, told really badly, and two, honestly, the worst that'll probably happen if you go out in the rain
You
is...
said the umbrella breaks.
Yeah, your umbrella breaks.
Which I have put
Absolute
off before.
worst. Yeah, I mean, absolute worst is you catch a cold, but that's only if you go out when it's cold and raining and don't have a way to keep warm, you know.
And you're unlucky, and you caught a cold. Oh God, you're gonna
Exactly.
die. I
I
mean, I
know.
know this was before like modern medicine, and yeah, he could have died, but the kid would probably have died either way, whether he had gone out in the rain or not.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like a cold, I don't think that would have like colds aren't that bad. Fevers
Right,
can
right,
kill
right.
you, but I don't think a cold can.
I
Like
know. I mean,
even a
I'm just
kid,
saying
you'd
that
have to be really young to die from that.
but I assume that's like
Like,
the
you know.
general idea of this is like don't go out in the rain or you get sick. Even though we're not even gonna say that. That's what I mean. It's like I hate this book because it solves nothing by explaining anything. It has not explained anything. The only one
Yeah.
that explained anything was the fire story, and really only even then it didn't explain anything. It just that fire burns is kind of a given. I don't know how
Yeah.
you can explain that, but like I mean, really, all you could say with fire, like, oh, it's unpredictable, and it kind of mentioned that, but it didn't
Yeah.
explain why not to be an asshole. It didn't explain why not to suck on your thumb. It didn't explain why not to be racist. It didn't explain
Yeah.
why not to go out in the storm. It didn't explain.
Exactly.
It kind of explains why to not like. It kind of explains why to look at your feet while walking, but even that
Yeah.
is kind of a not true thing because it's like, right, then you're
Overdone.
constantly
Yeah.
staring at your feet and you're gonna get hit by a car.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, everything's kind of overdone, and I mean, yeah, it's they really don't. I feel like yeah, the stories would be a lot more impactful if they had like the real reasons to not do most of this stuff, and of course, if the entire universe wasn't against a single character who was doing a thing, like you know. But yeah, that's
So what does it teach us? That
it.
almost 150 that about 150-year-old story kids picture books are maybe not the best tours in history.
And that the Germans invented the Caesarman.
Yes, we invented the Caesar man. Also, we seemingly had a fucked up history because now
Yeah,
we had the guys with a building with a witch that kills people. I forgot what her name was.
yeah, the Hansel and Gretel witch,
Yeah, we had
right?
the Hansel and Gretel, and we had these motherfuckers. We just had all the fucked up shit and stories. We also had the
uh,
guy who drowns kids in the river,
yeah,
but
I
that's
think
for another day in history.
that is for another day. But yeah, German. I guess this also teaches us that Germany is freaking intense.
So if only the strongest survive, because even sucking your thumb might end up getting you killed. Anyway,
uh,
thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys had some laughs, because I mean, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
exactly.
Which
Having
I
a good
want.
laugh and enjoying it all with your friends, family, and people who hopefully have their thumbs.
Yes, I think this was a way better lesson than "you're gonna die, bitch."